Okay, perfect. So I think we're streaming on YouTube. So I just wanted to get on real quick. Um, so obviously there's a lot been going on the last couple months, and then obviously over the last week. I gotta be honest, over the last few months, I got tired of a lot of people just talking about, at least from a business perspective, how COVID is affecting businesses or small businesses, and just like doing surveys and research. Really, it's just really creating content on the subject, but not really giving any information or providing anything that would actually help people. And so, also yesterday, well, actually today I saw a post. There's a business in Dallas, which you see here. I saw this post. There was a business in Dallas that was actually affected by the riot. So I saw Mahisha post up something about Guns N' Roses boutique in Dallas, and so it's a black woman owned fashion boutique she built by herself. It was looted within the riots, and so Mahisha put out just a call to help this owner, whether it's from PR marketing, whatever you can do. There's also a GoFundMe, so if you want to go to Guns N' Roses boutique on IG, it's right here. You can go there. There's a link to GoFundMe, but also outside of money, there was a call to try to have people help her get her business up and running online. Looks like she has a decent following on social media. So I'm not sure if that's maybe where her sales is coming from off IG and probably in person. I'm not sure. I don't know her, but this was a call to try to help for in-person stuff. And so I'm sorry for getting online. And so that is an area that I can help out with from a marketing perspective. And honestly, there's so many different areas of marketing, and so there's no way that I could cover everything here. And obviously, I specialize in certain things, and there's people who specialize in other things. But I'm going to start with one of the most important things, and that's organizing information. And so we know that Google is one of the leading companies online, and their whole motto and how they got big is because they organize information for people to find. You want to find something, you go Google it. Their algorithms are able to give you what you want because it's categorized in a detailed fashion. And most small businesses, e-commerce shops do not do that. And so that's not like the stuff that you dream of, the sexy stuff, but it's the stuff that's important, especially as you scale. Because as you scale, you'll want automation to play a part, and in order for automation, and then eventually AI, but pretty much in order for automation to do its thing, it needs to be able to look at signals and things need to be categorized. And so that's what I'm going to take you through here. But I'm just going to pop over and just to make sure you all are seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, yeah. So cool. So I'm really just gonna go live. Um, I'm just gonna go live and just do it just like live and take you through it. And so I had been working on sort of a course that actually puts all of this just puts this information out, but you're going to be able to see just generally what you should do. So I'm just going to go step by step through here, but just do it specifically for her business. And so you always want to start like your digital marketing, everything with keyword research. Even if you let's say even if you know social is going to be a focus for you, you still want your website to be your hub. And if your website is going to be your hub, then you want to use data that's out there in order to organize your site and organize your information, and also to put together a content plan. And then that same content plan you use on your site, you can use that same keyword research to extend it over to social media, whether it's YouTube, IG, whatever it is. And so I'm going to skip past these, and I'm not going to go through these videos for you, but you see right here, use Google tools to select a niche. So for people, let's say you don't even know what your business is, you can use some of this Google data to actually help you select what it should be, and start to narrow it down. Now for her, obviously she knows what hers is. It's fashion because she already has a business, and so that's when we will start right here. And what we're going to go to is to the Google category tool, because I just took a look at her site. So I went to her site, so Guns N' Roses Boutique, just to see. I'll go to the homepage for you. And so this is the homepage. You can look at the lookbook. You can go for men's and women's. And then we have some things about mask and renting the space. Um, so I can, as you're starting to scale this up and the website becoming more of a focus within your organization, you're going to want to have content that's also helpful. So definitely you want this product-based content, and you want to get your best-selling stuff up here and link out to that. You definitely want that. But then also you want to have any content that's informational, that's very important, that has a lot of interest, a lot of search volume. You will link out to that from the homepage too, because in most cases the homepage um, can be one of the most powerful pages on the site. And so you want to be able to take that power, and when I say powerful, is most times because that's where you're getting a lot of powerful links is to your homepage, and you want to be able to distribute that power from your homepage into other sites, so you will have other content. But we're not going to talk about that here. Let's talk about like the actual organizing that e-commerce store. Um, so for women's wear, you see she has tops and bottoms, and then dresses and rompers put together. I'm just going to click through here, dresses and rompers. And so the one thing I noticed is that like all of these are just categorized at dressers and rompers. It doesn't go a level deeper than that, which may be okay. We don't know. But my guess is that like when people aren't someone searching for a dress may not necessarily just be searching for a romper. So we will probably need to go a step deeper. The good thing about it, and for me, like again, my background's in digital advertising, and so for me, um, I'm built off of using data, so I don't even have to guess. The beauty of digital e-commerce is that you can leverage data to make the decisions for you and really to set you up for success. So the first thing you should be doing as an e-commerce shop when you're categorizing your store and creating a hierarchy and trying to create a good user flow, user experience, is to leverage Google data, which I'm gonna jump into in just a second. But let me just click on one of these just to see what the product page is. And so the name is just Slate for this. And this looks like the product page. And here's some other thing, more in the collection, and you also viewed. So I just wanted to take a look, and then this is just the breadcrumbs. Yeah, so again, dresses and rompers is the category, and then Slate is the product name. So generally, you want to have more in the product name. If you're selling on your site, and especially if you're on Amazon, they require it. So as a best practice, and again, it can change depending on the keyword or the type of product. But in most cases, let's say you're selling on Amazon, here you want to have the brand name, you want to have the type, and then the type of product and the name of the product. So for this is Slate. Let's say, for instance, I didn't go through the site and I just see something Slate or I search. I don't really know what that is. That's not telling me what it is if I just see the product name before going into this. So you want to have more than this. So what is this? Is this a Slate dress, or it might be like a Slate evening dress? You know, or it might be part of a certain collection, special collection. You'll put that first, and then Slate evening dress or evening dress Slate. But I just want to look at this page, and now we're about to jump into the data. So Google has product categories. So meaning they've done the work for you. You just pick for the categories. And again, Google, they're all about organizing information for the world, being the best organizer of information. You know why? If they can organize the information, they get people exactly what they need. They can just pull from that database or that repository of each item to serve up what you need on search results, which is great. And then you have that content, but that also allows them to serve the right ads from advertisers as well, and that's how they make their money. So if you look on the right hand, these are all the different data attributes that you can use for a product. And so each product, you may not have everything here, but you're going to want to use as much as you can. So let's say something for color. You would think, color, you want to have that. That's not something I saw on the product page right here. So you want to have color. I just see size. So you want to have color. That's pretty, uh, that's pretty standard. But then GTIN, these are different identifiers. And sometimes, or a lot of times, the GTIN is identifier, universal identifier. For a lot of people, that's just going to be UPC. You'll want that. The gender, all the stuff you want, because one is going to be good for a user experience and is going to help you to be able to categorize things on your site and help your customers filter through, which is going to lead to more purchases. That's good. But then two, from a Google perspective, if you organize it, then you can start to, when you start to scale and do ads, you can do product listing ads, which requires this stuff. It requires categories. And if you want to know what a product listing ad is, let's just go to Google real quick and see if we can have one come up. So boom, these are product listing ads right here. In order for you to be able to even serve a product listing ad, you have to have this stuff categorized and that information filled in. And all of that goes into a feed, a product feed. And that product feed has to be approved in the Google Merchant Center. So getting that feed correct and approved is what is going to allow you to have access to run product listing ads in the Google's advertising hub, which is called Google Ads. So all of this information is important. And that's, one is good for you, two is good for okay, looks like we're reconnected. So I'm not sure where it fell off, but I say Google wants this. Facebook needs the same Google categorization. And then if you want to sell on Amazon, Amazon also requires you to have categories and to have all this information. And you know why they want all this information? Not just for them, it's more so for the user experience. And the more you can be detailed and categorized and have people find what they want, the better the sales are going to be. And so it's important to do that. So, not that being said, let's jump into it, what it is. So I'm just going to jump right in. So this is the categories, right? So I just type clothing. You can see just how many different categories it is. And the good thing is it gives you, this tool right here is giving you all the information. So you don't have to think of this or make it up. Google has already done a lot of these categorizations because guess what? All the big fashion sites or department stores, clothing stores, the major ones that everybody knows, they categorize their products. But Google also has their bots just going around on their site constantly collecting information. And Google, again, they've organized it. Their specialty is organizing information. They've already organized all the categories, and we got it right here. So let's go down. So we talked about dresses. Right here, under clothing, we have dresses. We also see down here, we have one pieces and then jumpsuits and rompers. So this is telling me Google expects rompers to be separate, or it's probably best practice to be a different product category than just dresses. So we shouldn't, necessarily loop them in because they're different. They're not really the same. But you can go down here depending on what you're selling. If you have pants, if you have skirts and tops, if you have outerwear and coats. So what you would do is look at this and identify what you sell and start to map out what you need to include on your site. And you want to have it in a hierarchy so that people can drill down and they go from one to the other. The other great thing is that you can also use big sites out there and competitors. And so let's see. If you just go into, I just went over and jump into H&M. If you go here under women, they have dresses. You click dresses. So we saw that Google right here had dresses, which is great. Now we satisfy Google whenever we need to input the product category in a product feed for Google. Great. We can also go further to make it better for actual customers. And the great thing again, like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of people have done this stuff for you. So you can go to H&M and look what we have for H&M. So we have dresses. We can take it a step further. We have short dresses, midi dresses, maxi dresses, party dresses. Like, this makes it easier for your audience to figure out what they want. And it also gives them other ideas of what you sell that you wouldn't even think about, instead of just saying dresses. And, that's important because, look, this isn't a short dress. So, you know, if you're looking for the short dress and you're seeing, especially some of these, just click into that. Because let's say if someone went to that first page and they wanted short dresses and everything that was showing was long dresses and you didn't have that categorization, they just may think that you don't carry it. But here, again, remember we talked about all those attributes with size, color, all that stuff that you can input. Look what you have here right on H&M. Size, color, style. Just organizing information. This is just going to be like the backbone, and honestly, putting this information is just going to help you as you scale. It's just going to help you. So it's better to get it right up front and do the work and put that in, because this is going to help technology to assist you as you scale with things like retargeting on Facebook ads, or if it's dynamic retargeting, where they just serve different products to different people depending on what page they went to. But then also they'll probably look at the other types of people that have been to those pages and actually purchased that product. What are some other things that may be of interest to them? You're just helping to give that information. And so that's very important, to organize this stuff from the e-commerce perspective. It's so important because everything starts with data. And so we went from the product category. And so if we hop back over to this, what do you say right here? You can narrow down your product and service category, and you can do keyword research as well to help you. So let's say there's a new season coming up, or she just wants to expand the product line, but is trying to figure out what to focus on. Like, Guns N' Roses boutique, she's probably been doing this for a long time. She has a lot of experience and a lot of versatility. Fashion is her thing. But let's say from a business perspective and understanding what people want, let's say she's looking to expand beyond just her local Dallas market and wants, not really sure if, what she wants is the same as what the broader audience wants across the country or across the world, and doesn't know where to expand or what to focus on. The beauty of it is you don't have to guess like in the olden days. You don't have to guess like a lot of these, even like big brands used to do before. You can use data. So I'm gonna hop over into what's called Ahrefs, and I'm just give you an example of what you can do. So I went to H&M.com just to see what they're ranking for. Again, the data's out there. So if you don't really know what to search for, go and look for people that's already doing it. And again, this H&M, you might be like, oh, H&M, I don't compete with H&M. It really doesn't matter, because one, you can use whatever sites that you or competitors you want to, or two, you're just using this for a basis. And so from the broader categories, even if it's not the same fit or your material is better, that doesn't really matter right here. Right now, you're just trying to do some research. So what I did here is I went to H&M.com and then I went to organic keywords that H&M is ranking for, where they're already getting traction. And then here I just went to exclude H&M as much as possible. Some of it may come up, and I think this one is the second page. And so this is also going to give you, ideas on, what people want, what they're searching for, what to include, and then also how to organize it, because you can just pop out to it. So here we have like ripped jeans, platform shoes, and that's page one. Let me go to page, so that was page two. Let me go to page one. Lingerie top. I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna start a lingerie line, because I want to say over the last few years I've seen stuff like there's a lot of search volume for lingerie and not a lot of competition in terms of trying to get Google traffic. So I'm probably gonna do one. Here you see there's 255,000 searches per month. This is according to Ahrefs. Most likely there's actually more, because Ahrefs number tends to be less than Google. So they try to estimate what's happening in Google. What you actually see from Google is usually actually higher. Another thing that I did here, just to mention, so this isn't everything. I'll show you what everything is with H&M. If we started, there's actually like some very, very broad terms that they're ranking for. The thing is, like, especially with her starting out and most small businesses, you're not going to be able to compete for some of these keywords. As you can see, this KD is the keyword difficulty, and this tells you how hard it is, 100 being the hardest. So what I did is I went to keyword difficulty and I said, hey, let's look for keyword difficulty 0 to 10 to make the focus on things that are more achievable. So I click apply there, and then this is what came up. So lingerie top, bomber jacket. She doesn't have lingerie, so I'm gonna keep going down. So mom jeans. Okay, let me click on mom jeans just to see what the page looks like. And you see there's a keyword difficulty of 5. So that's fairly easy. If you structure the page correctly, get some links, you can rank for that. So I'm clicking on here. This is mom jeans. And so again, when we start off before, we're organizing this information. H&M already right there, boom, they show you how they have this categorized. So if you have mom jeans, this is something that you potentially could use yourself. You have women, then you're going to have jeans, then you're going to have straight, then you're going to have mom jeans. And this is just the hierarchy. And if you click on each of these pages, it's going to be specific to what that person will want. Then on the right, you got the price, obviously. Then you have the color. And down here, you have more information on the product. You got your reviews, detail. Boom, you could use that. Another thing I went to, so I was like, let me just look up women's dresses, since that's what we were looking at. So if you go to women's dresses, this is what you find. So we go, boom, Macy's, Lulu's. We're not looking at that because that's people looking to go to their specific site. Wedding dresses, I don't think she sells that. So I came down, okay, women's dresses. Let me just see how this stuff is laid out. Now, if you see women's dresses, you see the top two is Macy's and Bloomingdale's. I would check these out, because most likely these might be similar teams handle this. I mean, because I think Macy's and Bloomingdale's actually are the same company, owned by the same people, right? And if they're ranking on top, that means Google likes what they're doing for dresses. So there's something there, something you may want to look at. So I clicked over there, clicked out to this. Let's do that again. Again, you just using research and seeing what's happening. This is ranking for women's dresses. Now, part of it is the strength of their site, and they probably got a lot of backlinks to Macy's. But at the same time, most likely the stuff is going to be categorized in a way that Google likes, because you have both Macy's and Bloomingdale's ranking 1 and 2 for women's dresses. So here's some other ideas you have. the dress occasion that you can include when you organize your information, casual, daytime, formal. All this stuff is going to be helpful to women when they're trying to figure out how to navigate your site and how to actually make purchases with you. You have size, dress length, sleeve length, all this stuff you can put in. And I think she has a Shopify site, so I'm sure they have all that stuff, that ability to do it. A lot of my sites I do on WordPress and WooCommerce, so you definitely have that ability to control that stuff easily. I'm just going to click into this real quick. So again, you have your color here, you have your size, you have description, with your reviews up here, and your pictures, and just detailed information that people would need in order to purchase. And then you have related stuff that is very related. This looks very similar. What's this, like a floral print dress? Look at this. This is similar. And you know why it's similar? It's because of all of that information is inputted into this stuff on the back end. All of this stuff. This is the same stuff that Amazon used. They use the data. You know, when you go there, like, oh man, they're showing related products that like I'm really, really interested in. This makes sense for me. It's because of all the data and the information on the back end. Again, we're going back to here. All of this stuff on the back end, this stuff. This is where the money is, you know. All of this stuff, organizing the information on the back end. That's where the money is. So you can do it there. Now, you may be like, well, you know, I don't know what to put on the product listings. Again, just start right here. So go and find something that's similar to what you have on Macy's, Bloomingdale's, H&M, or if you have a luxury site, go to those sites and start to look at it like this. Start to take what they have. The reality is their product details aren't really that great anyway. But they have so many products, you know, they probably have tens or hundreds of thousands of products that, you know, it's hard for them to do that. So use that to your advantage. It's like, don't be as cookie cutter as them, but you definitely want to have at least as much as them. So actually, I'm going to go and hop on Amazon as well. So that's another part of some of the stuff I cover in the course right now, because you can use Google, but you could also use Amazon for product research. You don't have to guess with none of this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on Amazon. I don't know what I'm gonna find, but let's go on Amazon and let's look for women's dresses. Now, the good thing with Amazon, well, not necessarily Amazon, but there's a plugin that you can use for data to try to like sort of estimate what the market is on Amazon in terms of sales for whatever you're searching for. And so it's called Jungle Scout, and I'm gonna show it to you. Again, if you're trying to ideate what you want to do, what you want to focus on, where there's a market on, we already saw over here. We saw the Google search data. So you have Google, and then from a e-commerce perspective, we also got Amazon, where a lot of people are on Amazon. And I already know fashion and beauty is like, well, my customers, they don't shop on Amazon. They're not gonna go buy a dress on Amazon. They may not, but then you may be surprised. Actually, maybe they will. And you know, Jay-Z said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't." Let's see what the numbers say. So the first thing I would do here is let's go to Prime, because most of the sales are going to happen for people who have Prime, where they get that free shipping. And then let's do average customer review 4 and up. Again, we're filtering down, and under here you will see how they have some stuff categorized. If we click women's dresses, actually probably let me click this. I click women's dresses. You see again it goes further down: casual, club and night out, cocktail, formal. So you can take all these things from here, all the stuff from H&M, from Macy's, whatever sites you want to, as well as Google, to organize your information. Now You might say like, well, no one's going to buy women's dresses on Amazon. Well, let's see what the numbers say. Let's go to Jungle Scout. So Jungle Scout is a Chrome plugin. I'm just gonna click that. Hopefully I can remember my password. All right, cool. So we in. All right, so let's try that again. So we're on women's dresses. We're going to Jungle Scout. So Jungle Scout's gonna estimate the average monthly sales, average sales rank, average price, average reviews for all the products on this page. And you can have it go even further. So I think right here it might be like top. Actually, it's going to 48. So let's say through 48 listings, it's showing you right here. So you might be like, oh, people aren't selling on Amazon and the beauty. And I'll tell you, like fashion and beauties, the bigger companies, they're always behind. A lot of them are just too, you know, caught up in the branding, which is great. You want that. Um, but a lot of that is just like people going with whatever they think or guessing. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of things that beauty and fashion companies miss out. They're starting they're starting to adopt it and to catch up. But if you look here, this is the average or estimated monthly revenue. So you can't tell me people aren't buying women's dresses online. I'm sorry, on Amazon, because this says otherwise. And you can see there's a wide range of prices right here. Wide range of prices, and everybody's eating. From the $8 Amazon Essentials women's tank waisted maxi dress up to this Amazon brand Larkin rug. So you can't tell me people aren't buying it. And you might be like, oh, well, I'm high end. Well, you can establish yourself as a high end luxury brand on Amazon. You just, separate yourself in your actual listing. That being said, you don't have to sell it on Amazon. You can still sell it on your site, but you should leverage all the data within here because there's a ton of data. So one, you have the data within Jungle Scout, which is showing you and giving you an estimate of the potential. So this is the potential revenue, or not potential revenue, estimated revenue for these different listings. So you get all that. You get what their rating is, that of that product. You get the rank, Amazon rank, an estimate of the monthly sales, the price point, the brand. You get all of that, okay? And so, one, you can know, yes, people are buying women's dresses on Amazon. So we saw that there was search volume on Google. We're also seeing that people are buying it on Amazon. So there's another tool for Amazon that I use called Merchant Words, and that will actually give you the estimated search volume for various keywords. So that's another good tool, and that'll give you ideas like, so even beyond just women dresses, if you don't know how to look within it, it might show you, okay, women's dresses, how many people are searching for women's dresses, but then how many people are searching for like women's blue dresses or um, women's casual dresses or formal dress. So that's another tool that I use for Amazon. And again, you don't have to sell on Amazon. You just can just use this for the data. Because again, Google, Amazon, two of the top companies online, especially when it comes to like e-commerce. Amazon is the leader in the US. They have all this data available. And this is how you use it. Taking a data-driven approach as opposed to just guessing. There's no need to guess. There's no need to guess. Just use the data, and you're going to have a competitive advantage over everyone else, especially in fashion and beauty. Everyone's guessing. Everyone's just caught up with the look, which, yes, you need the look. That's great. But if you get this foundation of data right and get that perfect and get that set up, that's your foundation. You get that right, everything else is going to be good because you know that you're going to be focusing on products that people want, that people are buying, that people are searching for. You're going to give them all the details that they need on the product. You're going to give them all of the signals and all the data they need to navigate your site. And then the actual look will just be icing on the cake. Because guess what? You can always go your site. You can always change the look of what's happening on the product pages. You can always do a new shoot and swap out, the images with no problem. Okay. But the important piece is getting that data right. And so this is how you can organize the information and what you should be doing. Let's say if you again if you are, and a good thing with this, you can export this as well to an Excel file. But let's say you're looking around and you're trying to put together your product page for something you have similar. Let's say you have a dress similar to this. What you can do obviously is you can look at the product stuff, which this isn't, I would say this isn't even great. It's not really giving people a lot of information or on the product or trying to get them to actually purchase. So, but there are a lot of people that have good stuff. So you can look at this information. And there's usually more of a description down here. So here, you can look at this information and get ideas. You should go through a lot of those listings that were on there with all the information that I just showed you with the average sales. Look at each of those products, and this is good, but what's really the best information that you get from Amazon is in the reviews. Like in the reviews, the people are going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you what they like about the product, what they don't like. Buyer beware on sizing. What you should look out, what you should look out for when you're creating it or when you're going to manufacturers to make sure it's right. It's telling you buyer beware on sizing. The size is not right on this, so make sure your sizing's right. Like it's gonna give you all that information right here. We have all this information just in front of us, and nobody's using it. Like use a data-driven approach, and you're gonna have a leg up on everybody. I guarantee you. And it's going to make things easier for you when you scale. And honestly, a lot of this information can help drive the business plan for your company. This is market research. All this stuff can help drive the decisions that you make for your business moving forward because it's based off data. Now, obviously, some of this is quantitative and some of this qualitative. Obviously, there are going to be things, if there's nuances specific to your audience that you want to pepper in and make sure you take care of that stuff too. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of stuff that are just fundamentals that I've been talking about in this that you want to get right and that you need to get right. And then the rest would just be, the sprinkling of it. So what I'm telling you now will help you get you 90% of the way there. And then you can use, your experience, your knowledge, your taste, the way you curate things for that last 10% to really, put that sparkle on it. And so that's something that is very important. The data is very important. And for me, to me, Google is definitely important. I always start with Google, even though I know social media is just like a lot of people are caught up in that, and it's great. Like so many brands started off social media, but for me, I start with Google. And if it's e-commerce, I'll start with Google and Amazon because there's information. If you go to Instagram, try searching on Instagram. Instagram searching is horrible. Like it's horrible. So to get this type, you're not gonna get this type of information off of Instagram. So you want to get it together first on your own site. Get that together first, and then start to push stuff to the social media, and then you'll be doing it with a plan. And the other good thing is again, when we talk about keyword research, you can use this for your content ideas as well. So I'm just going to go to overview and see if there's any questions here. So boom. Again, using the information that's available to you from Google. Like I'm giving y'all the blueprint right here. So I'm going to go on questions right here. So this right here is your content. Like, you do the keyword research and you know that people are searching for it. If you can produce this content on your site, then people will come from Google to your site to look for an answer to this question, and then you can present your products as a solution. But also, once you create that content, you can still take that same content, boom, and use the same types of questions for content on YouTube, same questions for IG, Facebook, whatever it might be. And look at the keyword difficulty on this. It's easy. So, how should women's dress pants fit? I'm sure the owner of Guns N' Roses Boutique could answer this no problem right now. Like, I asked her, I could probably ask her. I never met her. I don't know her, never spoke to her. I can ask her this, and I'm confident. I ask her this question: how should women's dress pants fit? Ask her that question on the spot. I click record. I guarantee you she would have an excellent answer for that. And guess what? That's content right there. Boom. That's a content. Boom. Go on YouTube. That's content that can go on Instagram. And that's content that can also be embedded on the site as a blog post. Next one: how to dress up a black blazer for women. Again, that's something else that you can get together. So I'm about to give y'all another gem for this, for finding that content, because um, answering questions and content that's how you're going to get traffic from Google. People go to Google because they have a problem. They're looking for an answer to a problem, and what you want to do is provide a solution to those folks, and you will provide it in a way that's helpful to them, the answer to this question, but it's also clear to Google what that content is about as well. So Google can reward your site, send people there. You get that traffic for people looking for answers to relevant problems, and you're going to be a solution. And that's how you get sales from Google. And guess what? Spoiler alert: a lot of the small businesses don't know that for large businesses, the majority of their revenue actually still comes from Google and not Facebook and not Instagram. So for the big boys who are on a big level, Google's sending them lots and lots of money, lots of traffic. Organic search still represents a lot of. I don't know the latest, but last time I looked, it was like 50. I think it was like 50 something percent of traffic to most sites was coming from Google search. Then there was another 10% that was coming from paid search, which is also Google. So then you got 60%. Social might have been, I think it was less than 10% at the time. Obviously, that's grown. But when we look at social, the categorization of social actually also probably includes YouTube. So when we talk about social, it includes YouTube. And then guess what? Google owns YouTube as well. And then guess what? Google's YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. And so when you do this keyword research, there are also people who are searching on YouTube for this stuff as well. So you do it for your site, and it helps you on your site to get people going from Google. But again, that same information you can take over to YouTube. That same information you can take to YouTube and then kill there too, because you took that data-driven approach and you created content that people are actually searching for, that they want. They are, because it's right here. It's showing you that people are searching for it. So let's go into another tool for getting that content. If you need content for online, which helps for e-commerce, because I feel like a lot of the e-commerce brands that launch nowadays, they just go straight to social. They don't even think about Google. People forget about it when it comes to business and launching a brand. They just go straight to social, and I get it, because a lot of people are on Instagram and on Facebook. There are a lot of people on there. But when we talk about creating a plan for your business, when you talk about making sure you're relevant, when you talk about being able to reach your audience, Google is great, and especially in terms of get in that bag, especially if you're getting that organic search, because guess what? It's people who actually search for something that are going to Google. So when you appear in those search results, it's relevant to what people are searching. When you go onto Facebook or Instagram, you're just pushing out stuff. So it may be relevant, but it may not. Or people may not be in that mindset right now. They just may be on IG on a day for entertainment or to get the update on the news. And so in certain cases, they may not be in a mind frame to see your ad or your post. But from a Google perspective, they are, because they search right in that second for that specific thing and that keyword. And when your result comes up, that means you're relevant, you're at the right place at the right time for the right audience. Okay? So that's why I like getting the keyword based approach and doing your research. Keyword research is so important. So here's another tool that you can use to get ideas for content. So let's go women's dress. UK, I'm gonna do US, man. And click search. And then you just scroll down. It's populating. And what's gonna populate is just a ton of ideas. Not even just ideas, a ton of different keywords, questions, or just topics that include this particular keyword. So they try to make it real visual. So they have like a little wheel here. Let me see if I can put it on here to make it a little easier. So these are just some questions right here. But if you go further right here, prepositions, you have more. And if you go down here, you can actually see different keywords, phrases that include like what we search for alphabetically. And so this tool doesn't show you the search volume. You see stuff appearing here. This is another tool that I have called Keywords Everywhere, where it will add that data next to search terms in certain places. But if you come here, if you don't have that, you won't see this next to it. It'll just be all this stuff. And so this will maybe even, this will give you an idea of different things that people search for. A matter of fact, like, let me not even do women's dress. For this one, it's probably the less restrictive, the better. So I'm just gonna do dress. Boom. So now we see more. Now we see more, okay? I mean, like, this is basic stuff. Can dress shirts be washed? Can dress pants, and again, I did it broader, so some of this stuff is men's stuff. What dress size is Beyonce? And some of this stuff, if there's a search volume, you can flip it. So this might be like, okay, what dress size is Beyonce? You can provide, okay, Beyonce is this so-and-so dress size. Here's some of the great looks she's had on the red carpet, on this, and that. And then you can, have related products as well within there, either like as links within the content or on the bottom, just making it relevant. Okay, so here we go, prepositions. So dress with pockets, dress with sleeves, dress with trainers. Okay, so this is giving you information. So let's say you designing a dress or you're working with a manufacturer trying to figure out what you want, and you're like, all right, well, do I want to do dress with sleeves, or like is sleeveless dresses in right now? What makes sense? Or I have to pick between one of the two because I don't have money to buy every single variation. So I have the options between dress with pockets and dress with sleeves. You can see the dress with sleeves has a lot more search volume than dress with pockets. Then you see dress with boots. It's actually getting a lot of search volume too. So what I would do is you want to see what you can see what Google thinks the intent is here. And when I say that, it's like in terms of you can determine the intent by just looking at what Google gives you back when you search for that, because that'll give you ideas. So dress with boots. So Marie Claire says 14 dresses with boots outfits. BuzzFeed, 26 dresses you'll want to pair with boots this fall. Then you have this Pinterest stuff. You can beat the Pinterest stuff in most cases pretty easily on Google, unless they just have a lot of links. And I'm seeing two Pinterest things, so my guess is like this one isn't that difficult, but I don't know. So what I would do, I see that, because what you could do here is like she could pair multiple dresses, so she can create a post about dress with boots on a site blog post and have however many. You don't have to be 14, and she can have her dresses, and then with models that have boots. And so a lot of times I think since Google is not showing like any sales stuff, they think that this is people looking for ideas. So Guns and Roses Boutique, you can create a post that gives people ideas of like, 10 dresses with boots outfits for 2020 to slay or whatever it might be. Like, the words to say for that. You can do that, and then you can pair your dresses with different boots, with different models, or you can just be the model yourself, and you can have different dresses on with boots and just give people ideas for looks. And then guess what? Those dresses they're looking at are for sale on the site. So that actually I feel like would be an easy one to create content for, but let's see how difficult it is to rank. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this Keywords Explorer and the Ahrefs tool. I'm gonna type that in, dress with boots, and it says 7. It's easy. It's easy to rank. And so I'm gonna scroll down. This is just showing me data, more data on the sites that are actually on Google. So we just saw it on Google, and this is just showing you in a text representation with some more information. So the UR is something I look at. That's just the rank of that page according to Ahrefs metrics. And the way that they calculate the rank is just, for the most part, links from other pages to that site. From other sites to that page, as well as internal links from other pages on the same site to that. And so most of these are under 20. It's doable. So this is totally doable. So Guns N' Roses Boutique, this is you. And I guess it's just a coincidence that, you down in Dallas. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna stereotype, but you down in Dallas, you in Texas. Boots is something that's, that's prevalent down there. Not saying everybody's just walking around running boots, but hey, you're gonna find boots out there. I would say probably year round, more out there than you are gonna find up here in the Northeast. I can tell you that. So that's easy right there. And how do we find it? It's all based off of data. So the one thing that you would do is you would just download a CSV and go through all of this. The thing is, the keyword research is very time consuming. You should spend a lot of time doing this between this, Ahrefs. Well, Ahrefs is paid. You can also use Google Keyword Planner tool, which is that's free. I'll just type it in if you didn't get that. So right here, boom, you just click on that, and then you can search the same way. and just download. And you need to go through this, but you need to organize it. But again, at least from a and well, there's for e-commerce, there's two ways you're gonna have to organize your keywords and stuff. One is the product, and the product is the first thing I went through. So that's the product categories and all of that. You organize that way for your products. The second way is going to be for your content. So like those blog posts, and like we said, this one will be for dresses with boots. You organize that based off different categories, and so you have to do keyword research to do that. The way I usually do that in Ahrefs, an easy way to start off if you don't know. So we had dress with boots, right? You could do one with having same terms if you really want to focus and go deep only on that. But if you want to start from a broader lens and try to figure out a content plan for the entire site, you can start with all keyword ideas. And what I usually do is I export this, and then when I export this, and again, if it's for the site, you want to start with dress with boots. It might even be women's dresses you start with. But what I do is after you search that in all keywords, is I usually export, and when I export it into Excel, I'll I'll just show you. So a lot of times with these parent topics, these refers to like a different page, like so there may be multiple keywords under this parent topic, but a lot of times this might represent a page on the site, and I'll show you what I mean or how I organize it. I mean, y'all getting all the gems and secrets. I mean, this stuff it may just seem boring, but this is how you rank. Like this is definitely how you rank, and this is how you make your sites properly structured, organized, in a manner that Google likes, and also in a manner that's going to make sense for your potential visitors. So what I do, so these are the keywords, and this is the parents. You could think of this as just like the keywords just roll up into this. So the parent is at the top level. So what I usually do is I'll take this and I'll copy this, and I'll put this in another sheet and paste it. And then while it's all highlighted, I'll go to data, and now click remove duplicates. Boom. So these all are unique. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll start to categorize it. So a lot of times, most of these are going to be one page, unless they're like very similar. And this is really going to map out your site. So boom, prom dresses. That's a category. Cowgirl outfits. Boom. And that cowgirl outfits, technically, you could probably tie into. Actually, yeah, it can tie into the dresses with boots. Country dresses. Now, what I would do is I would just go into Google and just see what these two are, just to make sure there's different results that Google returns. So just to make sure it's not the same thing. Because if it returns the same results for each one of these searches, then you only need to create one page for both of these. And cute sundresses. And so all these are different pages, and you're just going through and picking out what makes sense and start to organize things. And the more you do it, the more sources you pull from, whether it's from Ahrefs, what this is pulled from, you pull from the Answer the Public tool, which we're on right here. And you just pull from all of that and start to map it out. Start mapping this out in terms of different pages on the site. And then you get this, and then you start to organize it into categories on the site. Well, and categories of content as well. And then once you get multiple, let's say you have multiple pages under one category, So like technically, like, let's see. Yeah, so let's say hypothetically, if these pages were all under one category, what we want to do if they were all super relevant and we creating the content, we have these blog posts, let's say for cowgirl outfits, we want to make sure whatever is relevant links to each other as well. So we'll want to make sure on this cowgirl outfits post that we're writing that we link to the country dresses post as well. And so that just shows you have relevancy. And Google wants supporting content in order for you to rank on Google, meaning they want to see that you don't just have like one page on a topic, but that you cover it in depth. Basically, they want to know like this is, this is what you really do. You show that this is what you really do by having lots of supporting content that's relevant. Those things interlink to each other. And then also, you need to have backlinks to those pages as well. Backlinks are um, when another site links to that page on a page level. That gives you power and your authority, which is important. And the thing is also, once you get that from one page, when you interlink or link to another page on your site, you pass some of that juice, some of that power on to the next one. So interlinking also helps in that way. And so, I think this is, a good example and probably enough for right now to show you how you need to organize information for your e-commerce site. Honestly, the organizing information goes beyond just e-commerce. But I wanted to show e-commerce for Guns and Roses boutique because I said, I would offer up that information, that strategy. And looking at the site, I know that this type of stuff is going to be helpful um, for her to get started. Again, just to recap, we start with the product categories. Get that right. And you don't have to guess. It's all there for you. Get those product categories from here, from sites, whatever, sites that are on Google, sites that are major sites. You get the product categories right, organize your site, and then you get that information correct on the actual product page, which you can pull from Amazon as well. And then once you get all of that right with your product page, you can go and start to do actual content as well. And so all of that is going to help you get started, and all of that's just like the beginning stages of what you need to do. Because if you look right here, I think we got to right here, or maybe product research and development. Yeah. Next, we will start to structure that site. So sort of what we said right here. We start ideating. The next step will be structuring the site. Then we do that. Then it's creating the content, then optimizing the content. Like there's so many layers to it. But this foundation we talked about today, that's going to set you up for success. Um, this is how the big boys will get ahead. This is how anyone can get ahead. And this is also going to make your advertising better as well. Any paid advertising that you do is going to allow you to do it better, or whoever you hire. If you hire someone like me or professional, having your site set up in the proper way is going to make it easier for them as well. So again, hope this is helpful to Guns N' Roses Boutique. Like you're gonna be okay. We got you. You're gonna get the site up and popping. You're gonna go beyond just the Dallas area. We got you. Again, I hope it's helpful. Anybody have questions, just hit me up.